Dear student, today I am starting the next topic, that is area vector. So you have already known about that the area is a vector quantity. It is not a scalar quantity because it is the cross product of the length and the breadth. So if there is a open plane surface is there, like this ABCD is there, and this is delta S, that is the surface of this plane's open plane surface, then the direction of the area unit vector is either n cap in upward direction or it will be minus n cap in downward direction. So when there is a open plane surface is there, the area vector is either perpendicular in upward direction or it is perpendicular in downward direction with respect to this plane, open plane surface. So this area vector delta S will be equals to that delta S is the magnitude part and n cap is the direction, that is the unit vector direction of that area ABCD. So this is delta S is representing the small area of the plane, and ds is a very small part of that plane. This very small part of that plane is represented by a small d element, that is known as ds. So this is n cap is the unit vector of the cross sectional area ABCD, which is always perpendicular with respect to that plane surface. Now what is happening for the closed surface, because this is for open surface you can take any of the direction, either perpendicular in upward direction or in downward direction with respect to that plane surface. But in case of the closed surface, like if there is a cuboid is there, then on one of the plane surface, that is ABCD, so this is the plane surface area of that cuboid. So delta S is the area vector, that is equals to delta S, that is the magnitude part, and n cap is the unit area vector of that cross sectional area ABCD, and which is perpendicular outward normal, because for the closed surface the direction of the area unit vector n cap is always outward normal. So this is, you should be having a very clear idea that for the closed surface the direction of the unit area vector is always the outward normal. It will be always the outward normal. Now the next topic is electric flux. So electric flux, actually electric flux, this topic is very important topic because it is related with the previous topic, that is area vector. Area vector is basically used in this topic. So electric flux is defined as the total number of the electric field lines crossing perpendicular to the given cross sectional area. So electric flux is defined as the number of the field lines which is crossing a given cross sectional area which is perpendicular to it. It means if ABCD is a cross sectional area, then this electric field lines which are crossing through this cross sectional area, it will be normal to it, that is n cap is the unit area vector which is along the electric field lines. And this is the special case where we are getting the maximum electric flux. When we will tilt this area, cross sectional area, then the electric flux will be different or its value will be less than this condition. And this is for the open surface, that we can take the area vector in either of the direction which is perpendicular to this plane surface. But in case of the closed surface, the direction of the unit area vector is always the outward normal with respect to that surface. It means in this surface 1, that is BCFG, this the area vector n1 cap will be the outward normal with respect to this surface. In the same way, in this surface area ADEH, the unit area vector n2 cap is outward normal. In the same way, this third surface ABCD, this n3 cap is the outward normal which is perpendicular to this surface. In the same way, EFGH, this is the fourth surface, and this n4 cap is the unit area vector which is the outward normal for this closed surface, in which this is the surface area whose normal is outward. So the direction is always the outward normal for the closed surface. Now the electric flux representation is del phi E. This is the symbol represented for the electric flux. Mathematically, the electric flux is the dot product of electric field vector and the surface area vector. It means del phi is E dot delta S. It means it is a dot product of these two vectors. What is dot product? As you have already studied in class 11th, that the dot product is the cos component of the second vector multiplied with the first vector. It means if E is the first vector and delta S, that is the area vector, is the second vector, then mod of this first vector multiplied with the cos component of this area vector, this will give the dot product of these two vectors, and this will be the resultant electric flux. So electric flux del phi will be E dot delta S into cos theta, because in dot product we will use the cos component of the second vector. So in the figure first, here the angle between the area vector and electric field vector is 0, because here the electric field is in same direction as that of the unit area vector, and theta is 0, cos of 0 is 1. So here cos 0 is 1, which is the maximum value of the cos angle. So this is the maximum value of the flux we are getting when this electric field is perpendicular to the cross sectional area, or we can say that the electric field is in the same direction as the direction of the unit area vector. This we have discussed that cos 0 is 1, so del phi will be E into delta S. This is the maximum condition for electric flux. Now what are the other cases or other condition? Like if this electric field is not perpendicular with respect to this cross sectional area, or we can say that this unit area vector is making certain angle with respect to this electric field vector, that is theta. Now in figure 2, theta is the angle between the electric field vector and unit area vector n cap. Then the electric flux value will be del phi E mod of delta S into cos theta, the cos component of this. So we will take the cos component of this area vector in order to get the electric flux multiplied with this electric field. So for a very small surface area, we take ds, a small element of that area vector, then we will get a very small value of the electric flux, that is d phi E, that is mod of E into mod of ds into cos theta. There is one note that electric flux is a scalar quantity because it is the dot product of two vectors. One is electric field, another is area vector. Hence electric flux has only magnitude but no direction. Unit of electric flux is Newton per coulomb into meter square. Dimensional formula of electric flux is m power 1 L power 3 t power minus 3 a power minus 1, because Newton is the unit of force. So for force the dimensional formula is ml t power minus 2. For meter square, that is L square. For coulomb, that is A into T. So this is the dimensional formula for the electric flux. So for the maximum flux, electric flux, the condition is that the angle between unit area vector and the electric field vector will be 0 degree. It means the cross sectional area will be perpendicular with respect to electric field. What will be the minimum condition for the electric flux? The minimum condition for electric flux will be cos 90. It means when the unit area vector and electric field vector is making the angle 90 degree between them, or we can say that the surface area will be along the electric field. So this is the topic of electric flux. Now this is the very important topic, that is the Gauss law, because it is generally coming in the examination for 4 to 5 marks, and its application is also very much important because these two topics are generally asked in your board exam. So what do you mean by Gauss law? Gauss law, actually, according to Gauss law, the total electric flux, that is phi E total, linked with a closed surface S, is 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed, that is Q enclosed, by this closed surface. So the Gauss law is telling that mathematically it is given by the total electric flux phi E total, that is equals to this integral having a closed circle sign. This shows that this is a integration of a closed body, and this E is the electric field vector and ds is the surface area vector. It means the surface is closed. This integration shows that this ds, surface area vector, is of closed surface, that is equals to the q charge enclosed divided by epsilon naught. So here this closed integral, surface integral, is shown for the closed surface area, and q enclosed is the charge enclosed inside that closed surface. It means q enclosed is the charge which is present inside that closed surface. It is not the outside charge, or it is only the charge which is present inside that closed body. And phi E total, that is the total electric flux. Now the next topic is some important points regarding the Gauss law. It means these are the important points which we should be always putting into consideration while solving the problem related with the Gauss law. First point is Gauss law is true for any closed surface, irrespective of shape and size. It means this law is true for any of the closed surface. It means that surface, one condition is that that surface should be closed, and irrespective of any shape, any size. It means it can be any irregular shape also, but that surface will be closed. That is important condition. Then second condition is the term q enclosed or the charge enclosed in the Gauss law is the sum of all the charges enclosed by that closed surface. It means the charges may be located anywhere inside that closed surface. Third point is that if the surface chosen is such that some of the charges are inside and some are outside, then electric field is due to all the charges both inside as well as outside the closed Gaussian surface S, but the total electric flux linked through that Gaussian surface is only due to the total charge present inside that closed surface. This point is telling, I am explaining in simple word, that if there is any of the closed surface, like here this sphere is a closed Gaussian surface and there is one plus q charge is placed here inside and another minus q charge is placed here. If I have put a minus q charge here, then the electric field will be due to both the charge. It means the charge which is inside that Gaussian surface as well as the charge which is outside the Gaussian surface, that is plus q and minus q, both will be giving the electric field, or both will be getting into consideration in finding the electric field. But in case of total electric flux, it means when we have to find the total electric flux, we will only consider the charge which are present inside the closed Gaussian surface, and we did not have to bother about the charges which are present outside that closed Gaussian surface. It means the charges which are present outside the surface is not taken into consideration in finding the total electric flux. That is the point which is getting explained in point number 3. Now the point number 4 is telling the surface that we choose for application of Gauss law is called Gaussian surface. It means the surface that we choose for the application of Gauss law is called Gaussian surface. It can pass through a continuous charge distribution. It means the imaginary surface which we are choosing is called as Gaussian surface, and this is a closed surface. It can pass through any of the continuous charge distribution. Okay, now next point is, Gauss law is often useful to find a much easier calculation of electric field when the system has some symmetry. It means without Gauss law we can also find the electric field, but that process of integration is much more complicated. So this Gauss law is a useful tool to find easier calculation of the electric field when the system is having some of the symmetries. It means this Gauss law is providing an easier method to find the electric field for the continuous charge distribution. Okay, now the next point, point number 6, is that Gauss law is based on inverse square dependence on distance, same as that Coulomb's law. It means as the Coulomb's law was there, that Coulomb's law is dependent upon 1 by r square. In the same way, Gauss law is also dependent upon 1 by r square terms as the Coulomb's law was there. So these are the 6 important points that you should be remembered while solving the problem related to Gauss law.